There we go. Alright, let's get this started. Hey Sharon, welcome. Happy Thursday to you too. A little bit of a late start today, but that's alright. How are you doing today? She is. She's doing her sub work well. Coconut is currently very happy in her tower. I couldn't move her. She's like, so her tower is kind of like, hold on. It's like a cup at the top is the one that she loves. And when I went in to find her, she was literally a lump with a leg sticking out and 2 ears maybe here. So I couldn't really, I couldn't do it. I just had to let her stay. She looks far too happy. It was kind of roughly pork chop, but it was clearly don't mess with me. I'm sleeping, so. I drafted Strawberry Mo to help in her stead. Hey, Catherine! Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Strawberry Mo is doing, she's doing the heavy lifting today. He said, put me in, coach. I can do it. Oh shoot, this is the wrong layer, isn't it? No. I need to go and do the proper layer anyway. And I know that my eyes here are gonna be a little bit shorter. Alright, so I wrote out, I actually did quite a few bits of writing for webcomics yesterday, and I have at least 2 how it started, how it's going sets. I also have an EL comic, and I have probably at least 3 Cozytown Fall Moment ones like this. I'm just going to do a Cozytown Moment for this one. The EL, I might do EL's game next week. I might actually, I'll try for Tuesday if I do a little bit over the weekend. But that one's really cute because I have it set in the Harvest Fair, or the Harvest Bake Off at the Pumpkin Spice Fair, and so she notices a floof is trying to play one of the carnival games and keeps losing, and so she tries and wins the prize that the floof wanted. So that was a cute little story arc for EL. But I've got to figure out how I want to pace it, because I'm thinking that I might have the first frame be the floof playing the game and EL in the background noticing, and then the floof loses and kind of plods away because he's out of money, or he's giving up. And then she thinks about it for a minute. I'm thinking about 2 close-up shots of floof plodding away, EL thinking, and then EL goes and she tries to win I'm thinking the prize that the floof wants is a giant kind of almost like a squishmallow acorn plushie that the final panel will be the floof just kind of smooshing into it, showing a little bit of EL's softer side. But on this one I've got, let me see. wanted to do Happy and the Floofs. I've got Happy and the Floofs making apple juice or pancakes. Because I have a couple of illustrations where Happy's picking apples with them, so I want them to do something with the apples, maybe make apple juice, or maybe they're making pancakes. I think I like the pancake idea. Okay. I'm just gonna oh, Coco, there we go. And we've got pancakes. And then, let's see, that was an autumn walk. Momo and Coco. Oh, I also had them doing card games. That could be... I don't like this one. I don't want to do a little scene of Pudge riding in a cafe. Like maybe he's got some coffee or something. So, let me mark these guys off on my list. I've got this one. I've got circle pancakes. And then the first cup of hot cocoa. On the how it started, how it's going, I was thinking, especially with this past week, it would be fun to do a kind of a little joke at the daylight saving time where Momo is, you know, how it started. She's walking in the sunshine at 4 o'clock, and then at 4 o'clock there's no sun, and she's just like, where did it go? Another one is the Floofs making a leaf pile, then destroying the leaf pile. And this is actually one that kind of came off the other list, was Happy and the Floofs picking apples. And then I have the second part, how it's going is they're getting an apple pie lesson, but maybe that could be the apple juice or something along those lines. And then I had another idea that was like a treats one. Like in the summer, you've got popsicles, and then treats change to maybe soup and grilled cheese or something like that, or, you know, pumpkin spicy cookies or whatever. Though I do consider tomato soup and grilled cheese a good treat. Another one, the kind of switch from Halloween to Christmas stuff. I mean, I'm already hearing Christmas songs even though we haven't passed Thanksgiving yet. Same thing with Halloween and Christmas decor. And I thought pumpkin spice to peppermint, summer clothes to fall cozies like sweaters. Kind of the fast pace of summer and kind of the slow down in autumn. I don't quite know how I would illustrate that one yet, but those are some of the ideas I came up, and it felt really good to just sit down and do some writing and just focus on that. So hopefully we'll get make more time to do that today. So let's go here and let's think about the hot cocoa. And then maybe I'll have a floof down here and he's just like, he's got like a bowl with extra mallows everywhere. Maybe this floof is like, how did you get a big bowl and I just got a little one? What can you eat? How can you possibly have that much hot cocoa? Maybe it's just a bucket full of marshmallows. Could be that. Alright, so they're facing this way, and I'm thinking I'll do a left facing maybe I'll have a floof in this pile of leaves. Right. And now we've got Happy and GB are watching the floofs go crazy with flipping the pancakes. There's a bowl of batter here. Maybe I'll move this guy over a little bit. And then let's do a quiet nice cup of tea here. And behind him we see the window, the cafe. And maybe I've got some really nice lighting here. Maybe he's backlit by a nice golden light. Could do that. That could be really pretty. these are all going to be pretty elaborate scenes, which is a-okay. It'll just probably take me a little bit to draw each one of them, but look here. And let's go ahead and group. Well, let's just go ahead and drop all of them down. I'll group them all. And I will 30%. There we go. And here we go. Oh. Decided to come with my water. I'm not sure who mentioned it, but blackberry lemonade? I thought it may be blueberry lemonade, but I got that one this week. And it's quite good. Right, align the artboard. And now let's get these frames sketched out. Okay, I'm obviously having trouble drawing this face shape today. There we go. So I was doing a deep dive on a lot of things yesterday actually, but I was looking at the potential of hooking up to Restream so I can push this to multiple platforms at the same time. I know Restream on the free version allows, I believe, 2 platforms, and then the next version up allows 5. And I'm just kind of, but then I know there's a kind of DIY plugin way to do it on OBS. The main thing I'm concerned with is the monitoring all the chats, and because I don't want to, what I really don't want is to be present on a platform but not see the chat that's coming from there, and you know, have people think I'm ignoring them. Because I've actually been, and I think this was, oh, now it's been several years ago, but it was kind of at the dawn of multi-streaming. But I went into one of this animator, and it was clear that she was not monitoring everything. She was just streaming everywhere, and I had to figure out from who she was actually answering where I should go to have her actually see chat and, you know, interact with the streamers. So that was frustrating. I don't want anybody to feel that way in my stream. So that's kind of been the reason for my hesitancy to adopt a multi-streaming solution. but there are a lot of answers to it now, and services, plugins, and stuff. So it seems like it's come a little bit from that state. Another thing I looked at, I did Whatnot. I've been looking at that to see about doing kind of like a live selling stream to see how that works. I know of at least one comic creator that is doing that. I actually haven't sat in on the streams yet, but they do live drawing as they are streaming on Whatnot. I'm not sure what product it's connected to, because it's like a HSN or a QVC or whatever, but you know, on your phone. So I'm not quite certain if it's just a audience building stream or if they're actually selling something. So I have to tune in on one of those. The last one they did was like at 8 a.m. Eastern, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not awake at that point. It's 7 a.m. here. So hopefully they'll do one that's a little bit later that I can pop in and watch, and just get the idea of what people do on there. I know a lot of, because I started watching YouTube videos on it. Come on, there we go. And it's a lot of resellers, and they I haven't seen a lot of, I don't want to call them bespoke products, but you know, like things that you actually make and manufacture. I haven't discovered those yet. I'm sure they're on there because I see in the comments people mention, you know, like they're a jewelry maker or whatever, and that's their niche that they're going after. I feel like her eyes are a little bit too tall. There we go, that's better. Let's bring her up. Let's maybe make her face altogether a little bit bigger. There we go, that seems better. Through. Angle this a little bit more. Also have been, I got a couple of books on it. It should actually be arriving today because I want to, and I have other ones, but I feel like the ones I've gotten already on story structure, because I want to start writing longer, like more than a single page story arcs. And I feel like the books I've gotten so far are a little bit too far into the weeds. And they're very dry, and I haven't been able to really lock in and, you know, absorb. And that's frustrating for me. So I got a couple others that seem like they should be good and are a little bit more, it's kind of, I don't know, it's fundamentals, I mean. But I haven't been writing long form stories for quite a while, and I wouldn't really call what I wrote before long form, as they were mostly just short stories, but I would develop whole narratives and plots and stuff like that. I used to come home every day from school and boot up the computer and write. That's all I did. I think I'm going to keep these guys in their same I'll just keep her whole, and I'll have these guys in the foreground, and just kind of try to keep that cohesive. Because I might need to move her over a little bit, maybe make her bigger, smaller, etc. I have the idea for the Cozytown Mysteries. I thought that would be a fun one. And that would be a way I could introduce maybe a Pete character. He would be kind of like a tinkerer or a gadget, like a Q character maybe. And I was thinking that, well, in my original notes, it would be Samu and Barry that would be the mates there. Just a way to get them back into the main cast a little bit more. And let's draw a cup. And I'll do a little slosh this way because they're chinking, they're clicking, or clicking their cups together, and so the direction and the flow of the water will be towards that side. Clinking their glasses, but I'm not really clinking them. Just draw that through. And I also need bottom at the top. And maybe something like that. So she's actually holding on to it. Alright. Oh, I wanted to do, let's just do a little dollop of hot cocoa, or sorry, whipped cream on that one. I have yet to do a hot cocoa yet this season. I'm trying to plan it out so I don't go crazy. So there are a couple of versions, and there, I might just, but if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right. I've seen that they do the hot cocoa Keurig cups, and I think that's a way to, scratch the itch, but not, make yourself a 500 calorie hot cocoa. So I might opt for that, but I really like how I kind of homebrew it with the Swiss Miss scoop. Probably scoop too much, but it's good. And if I'm really feeling wily, I'll put some, okay, if I'm really feeling wily, I'll put a little amaretto in it. It's so good. It's so good. It like turns the hot cocoa into it's close to chai, but it just gives it that little bit of spicy. But it's also a nice little zip zip. There's another thing that I've tried to there's like this horchata liqueur. That's like adding like cinnamon, like it's like kind of cinnamon milk is what I always think about it, but it's just, yeah, that's another good one to add. If you want a spicy hot cocoa. If you want a regular hot cocoa, then you can probably add nutmeg, a little topper. Maybe dust it with some pumpkin. Oh, I have this pumpkin spice little spice mix. That would probably be super good if you sprinkle it on top of the whipped cream. Okay, now I'm gonna have to make hot cocoa, but it needs to be cold enough. It's not cold enough. It'll get there. Maybe. Boops is like all whipped cream. It's okay. That's the beauty of making your own hot cocoa. You can have it whatever way you want. All right. Okay, a client question. My point size, yeah, it's teeny tiny. No wonder I'm having issues. Oh wow, those are big boot footers. I'm gonna stick those behind her body a little bit more. Maybe I need to move her at large a little bit closer to everything. So I'm going to do one hand over, one hand here, the other hand back here, and then I'll erase. So for Halloween, I did something different. I didn't watch any Halloween movies. I just started looking around and with the intention of finding a good Halloween movie. But then I saw Sister Act was on, I think it was Netflix, and I was like, I hadn't seen Sister Act in ages. So I watched that one, and it was as good as I remember it. And then I think I did Coming to America. So it was a 80s movie night, 80s, early 90s movie night. I think Sister Act was 92. Gosh, I forgot how good Maggie Smith was as the Mother Superior in that one. she has that, I guess it would be the McGonagall look, just like she's judging you without judging you, and you know what her opinion is, but she's not going to say it, that look. Such a good actress. She's always been one of my favorites. Usually for Halloween I watch, I usually have Hocus Pocus on. I need something on that I can, just jump up and answer the door without, worry that I'll miss something. So that's why I usually put on Hocus Pocus or something else that I've, seen a million times. I don't really need to pay attention to. Ended up watching Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Ooh, I haven't heard of that. And the Haunted House episode from the Andy Griffith Show. So Halloweeny but not scary. Good picks. Good picks. I got, I feel like there were less trick-or-treaters than last year, and definitely fewer little ones. A lot more teenagers. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there were 2 adults, like nowhere near their 20s or teens. They came for trick-or-treating. Whatever. I mean, I don't care, but I was just like, because I remember when I was little and, I got up towards preteen, teen, I was always like, oh God, I'm too old to trick or treat. And, it's just for like the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. That's who it's for. You don't go if you're a teenager or whatever. But I had a lot of, and I don't think that matters anymore. I mean, I love, anyone who comes to the door. I love seeing the costumes. But yeah, a lot more teenagers. I'm trying to think if any costumes really stood out. I heard a number of folks say they noticed less this year. Yeah, I mean, kids at heart. Yes, I like that. I've also heard that they, maybe the parents go to certain areas or certain, what I did notice too was a lot, and I like this, especially in a big city, a lot of the parents kind of carpool. Because it'll be like a wave. There'll be nothing, then all of a sudden like 8 kids will come out of a car and they'll be at the door. So they kind of carpool and drive around and then release, and then they get back in the car and go to the next area. I like that idea. I mean, especially in a big city where it may or may not be safe in all these different areas. And that can literally change in the distance of a street or a block. Where I grew up, it was pretty much, 4 streets in the middle of a field. So it was pretty much trick-or-treating with the families and the kids that lived on those 4 streets. You basically walked around. It was about a mile. And so there really wasn't, unless you go out to the other neighborhoods, which were much further away, it really wasn't, that much of a risk. The biggest risk was crossing the, at the time it was 26. It was a highway, main highway, and that led up north, I want to say. I think 26 went north. And that was always highly, highly trafficked. But since then, they have done this, what did they call it? The Hoosier Highway or Hoosier something, which made that road obsolete. So there's like no traffic on it anymore, unless you're going to one of these neighborhoods that's up there. but it used to have like trucks and semis and all of this really, really fast moving, dangerous traffic, because where those streets were situated, it was kind of at the top of a hill and a curve. So you had to be very careful crossing those streets. And I think my mom said she got a couple, or I can't remember. But there had definitely been seasons, like they would have a ton there, and then several years where not many at all, and then kind of like a fresh new crop of families would move in and they get a fresh new crop of kids coming by. Here I feel like the kids who have trick-or-treated that were little in the past are growing up and still coming. I think that may be why I saw more preteens and teens, is that the littles that were here 2 or 3 years ago, they're not little anymore. So I saw a really cute Pennywise. She was maybe 6 or 7. Maybe she was older. Maybe she was 8. She was really cute though. Trying to remember. None of the other ones really stood out. Oh, there was this teeny tiny one. Oh my gosh, she was cute. I think she was dressed as like a purple fairy, and she was with her sisters, and she was kind of on the edge of being too young to trick or treat yet. So you're telling her what to do. You know, come up, get a piece of candy, and she apparently loved peanut M&Ms because she wanted to pick all the peanut M&Ms out. And of course, it's like, please, take all the peanut M&Ms you want, sweetie. She was so cute. But that's all she wanted. She wanted the peanut M&Ms. And she just very dutifully searched through. And so that was a cute one. I'm trying to think. But yeah, a lot of cars. I think more than previous years. Lots of carpools. I need to do a check for one of my freelance clients really quick. Let me just log in over here. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm still, sign in. Let's make sure I'm not doing anything. Okay, yeah, I've got that. Okay, that's good. Okay. So now what do I do? Reports. I don't want a port. I just want to see. Oh, here we go. Okay, I do have admin panel. That's good. Where do I see? I don't want a tour. Thank you, but no. Let me see. There we are. That's what I need. Okay. All right. I'm going to take, pardon the antiquated picture, because I don't want to take a screen cap, save it, and then put it on my phone and do all of that. I just want to text this. All right. All right. So let me. send this to them. Okay. Why is my phone taking forever to send a picture? It's not like I did Ultra HD. Get that over there. They should be okay. All right. Back here. I haven't watched Trick or Treat. I did that last year. I have to kind of be in the mood for the darker Halloween stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and group Granny Bear and Boop separately because I'll drop the color into each of their sections separately as well. Let's get rid of that, and there we go. And so I can rearrange these guys, size them up or down, and not have to worry about that. Okay, what other ones do I usually watch? Hocus Pocus I mentioned. I saw Halloween Town last year. Now in the mood for some Coco. Temps dropping over the weekend. Ooh, that'll be good. Yeah, it'll definitely be good. I have a soup kit that I have the ingredients. I have everything ready to go. I'm just waiting for the temperature to decrease enough that it's soup time. Because I've got one soup kit left from last year. Because I went to what is it called? Archer Anderson House. Shoot. Really good soup kits. They have this. My favorite is the loaded potato soup. It's like Archer House or Anderson Farms or Archer Farms Anderson House, something like that. And I put a cart together because I need to restock for soup season. But I've got one left, and it's the lentil and sausage. Oh, come on. You were just sending me emails. Oh, don't tell me that my spam is capturing those because I want those. I want my soup emails. Okay, so we're gonna go into spam and see if my soup emails are getting caught. What? I want to move this one to... Nope. I would like to say you're not spam. Okay. Where's my soup? whenever I get into my spam folder, I always get worried because there's so many things in here that I don't really think it should have caught, but it did. Don't really mind them. For some reason, I'm registered at Omaha Steaks. I don't really mind them capturing that one. I guess they stopped sending. Oh, darn it. Now I'm gonna have to go and look up what it was again. Alright. Looks like my... Where did that email go that I just... Oh, I just moved it and started it. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm gonna find this. Anderson... Oh, Anderson House Foods. There we go. There we go. Ooh. This week, all $70 orders plus receive a free chicken stew and chicken noodle. Those are both very good. I have both of those. So let's see. So they have two different ones. They have the soups, which are a smaller one that feed about 6, and the hearty meals feed like 8. So I have, like, when I make one of the hearty soups, I have leftovers for days. Okay, here is the soup place. Oh, same. I'm like, they capture emails that I respond to, and I'm like, I've been conversing with these people. Why are you capturing these emails? Why are you being that way? But on this spot, what I love about it is it's a combination of the dry ingredients and the fresh. So like for the potato soup, you get your own potatoes, dice them up, and then you've got to boil them with the chicken stock, and then you add in the cream and then the dry ingredients that you get in a little pack. But yeah, it's the Rocky Mountain Trail loaded potato soup. Oh, that's so good. So good. And the one I have left over that I'm waiting to make is the Indiana Harvest sausage and lentil. I put them in my, I got this Dutch oven set from Costco that was like, you know, if you go to Le Creuset, they're like $300, $400 for one pot. But at Costco, they have this double set of a mini and then a regular set that's like $55. And they're so nice. I make them in that, and things boil really fast in those. I've had the beef and barley. Did I have the gold? I don't know if I had any of the chili. I think I still have a little Italy wedding soup, but I haven't made that one yet because it looks like it's, I don't know, I'm getting intimidated when I read that recipe. You've got to add egg at certain points, and I don't know. I don't think this one might be new, the Texas black bean. Apple sausage and bean soup looks good too. So yeah, I've got to do an order from them. They are so good. You won't be disappointed. So I like to get stuff from, haven't tried their soups yet, is August and ooh, let me go. Let me see. August. Let's see. Ooh, nice. Ooh. Cheesy broccoli chicken noodle. Uh-oh, you've got a mystery discount. No thanks. Shop new soup pouches. Is this a 1 or 2 serving? Let me see. Just add water. Ooh, so it's like a little cup. I like that. Let's see, what else do you got? Yeah, I really kind of need to have one of these emergency food kits, especially here in hurricane season, though, knock on wood, we haven't had any bad storms this year. But last year we had that really weird, I guess they call it a derecho in May, that cut the city off from power. And then just a few weeks later, there was a hurricane that once again cut the city, and trees down everywhere. So like as soon as they got things fixed from the May tornado, or whatever it was, we had that other one come through and just shred things again. Neat. I wanna see. Give me soups. Soups. Ooh. Wow. So you just scoop and kind of make how much you want. So pouch, 8 servings. So let me just look on this. Let me see. Put it back. Just add water and cook. So I wonder, are there 8 packets inside? Remove oxygen absorber and discard. Whisk soup mix. Okay, so the whole thing. You make the whole thing. Okay. Reduce heat. Nice. Coconut curry soup. Ooh. Ooh, and they have big packs too. Damn. That's really... I'm gonna have to investigate this a little bit more. Thank you for that link. Food storage is so important, especially you live in areas like we both do that have weird, strong... Yes. Yes, we've gotten a number of emergency food storage items from them recently. If you think we should stock up before it, yeah, no doubt. My parents did kind of their own. I think they went a little bit overboard and then they kind of backed it up. But they were doing... my dad was really clever because they like go through a lot of 7-Up bottles, so they used those empty bottles to they dried them out and then they used them for rice. They would get like the big rice bags from Sam's Club, and then they would kind of prep them and use those bottles to do that. And they did some other things too, I think. But I think my sister has some stuff too. I can't quite remember what it is though that she has. My biggest thing is I stock up a little bit on cat food and dog food, because what can you do because there have been stupid runs on the store here for nothing. And like it seems like anytime bad weather is coming, there are runs on the grocery store and everything's gone because people think they need to buy toilet paper, and just it's always toilet paper. And now water goes pretty fast too, but that makes sense because we have these weird, and this is actually something I voted for. There was like a resolution to give more money to the waterworks because apparently we've got really old systems still. They haven't updated them, so pipes are breaking all the time. We usually get like boil water notices randomly in the middle of seasons that bad weather, no reason. You just gotta boil your water. So yeah. So happily, hopefully, they'll fix that. But yeah, so always get a run on the water here. And a couple times I didn't know that the weather was coming. I was in Costco, and you just see like a parade of people running back to the back and coming back to the front with water all over their carts. I'm like, okay, we should probably check the weather. Is there something going on? Because people are in Costco, they're freaking out, and they're buying all the water. What's going on? Yeah, no, it's in it. It happens too because, well, like a majority of the city is built on this clay, and so when there's a drought, the clay shrivels up, and then of course when we have the the wet seasons, it plumps up. So you've got this kind of shifting, contracting soil base that is not that easy to deal with. And there have been a lot of broken pipes lately because of that, because we haven't really actually had a lot of rain this summer. We got some recently, but not really like volumetrically a lot like we usually do. We have some friends who would always ask us what the weather was going to do, especially winter weather, so they can prepare and stuff. That's good. That's a good idea. Gotta have people in the know that you know. We're gonna do this. This is like a soup bowl of hot cocoa and marshmallows, which is totally okay. I've spent, what, an hour drawing this one frame and talking about soup? But us, we always try to make sure that we are stocked up as possible between the weather, health stuff, and just life. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very smart. Very, very smart. It very much depends on where you are, because like where I grew up, I only remember, well, I remember some possible weather events that didn't really pan out, like tornadoes and stuff, but one truly big weather event, it was in 1990, I think. It was this massive ice storm. No, it was 91. And it was beautiful, but it was so destructive because the trees were covered in like an inch of ice. And it was so silent when you walked out in it. It's hard to describe it. It's kind of like that winter silence, but it was even more than that. But yeah, that one was a big weather event, but I don't really remember, more than that. And here there's like, well, again, knock on wood, there's like a big weather event every, hurricane season. So maybe if we don't get anything this year, it'll be next year. That's crazy, but we've had some pretty crazy hurricane seasons lately. This one has a reasonable cup of hot cocoa and a few marshmallows, but he's wondering, well, I mean, maybe I should have gotten a bigger one. still deciding on his expression. Hey, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Happy Thursday to you as well. Storms like that bring so much silence, really cool effect. Yeah, it really is. And I haven't kind of been out. Well, there was a little bit of a snowstorm here last year. Not really that much, just a dusting over the ground. There was one like 4 years ago or so that was quite a bit more of an accumulation. Didn't quite have that silence to it, but it's like, wait a minute, where'd you get the big bowl from Hot Cocoa? And why don't I have one? Oh, I forgot to move their shears. Maybe I should do a... Alright, I think this is going to be not much background on this, but I might put in like a little bit of grounding there. I need to move on to another frame. Hanging in there, I would like things to work out. Aw, keep practicing, Dee. You gotta work those bad drawings out. Lived through a big storm in the 90s in Omaha that shut the town down for a week and canceled. Oh no! Also lived through an ice storm where most folks lost power for days. Oh yeah, that's a huge blessing. In the ice storm I was in, my nephew, he was maybe 6 months old or something like that, and he woke up and his lips were kind of blue, and my dad was just like, okay. And he went out, like, I think it was that morning, and as Sam's Club was opening, and there were like 6 generators in the store, and he got one of the last ones. And so he hooked that up, and we had heat during that storm. But for the first day or so we didn't, and it was, so yeah, we went without a day. We had the Bunsen burners, and we were doing soup and kind of using the fireplace, and it was keeping things warm, but not really warm enough, especially for a little baby. So yeah, there were people that were really, really out of luck on that one. I think it was at least a week or so before some people got dug out. Yeah, on the drawing, Dee, just remember, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Only compare yourself to yourself. And you'll find a lot more peace in that growth process. Because, I mean, you know, you can just log on to Instagram and you'll be, you know, met with any number of people that, you know, are better than you. But just remember, and it can get discouraging, you know, when you do that, but it's your journey, and they had to do the same thing. You just have to kind of keep that perspective in mind and not get too down on yourself. I would struggle with a lot of different things, like, you know, and I'm looking back at some of my earlier daily sketches. I can clearly see, you know, I hadn't gotten contrast yet. I was just really working in the, you know, getting composition down, getting kind of just the joy of drawing and the ideas out. And, you know, I've also thought about maybe going back and redoing kind of like a draw it again thing on some of those that I really loved, and knowing what I know now and what I've, you know, learned over the years, seeing how I would do certain designs differently. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no! I crashed! It totally crashed! Oh no, and I hadn't saved in ages. Oh, baloney. Oh, baloney sausage. Illustrator. You bum. I didn't get a notice or anything. Alright. Well, it is what it is. It just disappeared. Gone. Yeah, we're back here. Here we go. Do I have a... Oh, let's see. Let's see where it was. Ah! So that's where it was. So I only lost this. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'm not mad. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I can just remember to save a little bit more frequently. I've never had it crash that way before. Usually I get a Illustrator has stopped working, you know, send a crash report deal. Nothing. It just disappeared. And my stylus froze. Now, I hadn't done a lot. And, you know, if I wanted to, I could probably go back on the stream and screen cap it, but I can just draw it again. No big deal. And maybe we'll draw it better this time around. I'm glad I hadn't started drawing a tree, because I would be really upset if I lost a good tree. Why it did that? All right, save. And we continue. This is where it messed up. I was drawing this bush. So maybe it's a cursed bush. Just Adobe being Adobe. Ew, look at how fast that got redrawn. No harm, no foul. I always found that that was the case too, because there was an advertisement I was drawing, and I had spent like the whole day figuring it out, because it was the keyboard and mouse Illustrator days, and my drawing skills weren't nearly as good as they are now. And when I didn't have this setup with the tablet and the speed, and it crashed. Like right when I was done with it, the whole system crashed, and I had to rebuild the entire thing that I spent the whole day on. But it went together so much faster the second time, because I'd already figured out how to do everything. So all of the struggle bussing, I didn't have to do any of that anymore. I just had to, okay, I know how to do this effect, I know how to do that effect now, and now I just need to go back in and do it. So Pete is driving me crazy. I don't know if he's picking up on the mic, but he's barking at something. I'm gonna be right back and see what's going on. I'll be right back. All right, we back. God, that would have been funny if I came back and it was gone again. Aha, but I saved. I saved before I left. You shall not get me again. I want to draw this little guy. I'm ready to draw him happy in his pile of leaves. I want to go ahead and group him, because I might need to make him smaller. And I know I'm going to have him kind of swooping across this foreground here, because I overdrew the halfway. I'll leave those in the group. So happy. All right, we're gonna save. That's another thing with when I was investigating Restream and all of that. I was thinking, because I used to have OBS, well, Streamlabs OBS. I used to have overlays, and I still do, because sometimes they pop off if someone randomly follows me on Twitch. While I'm streaming here, you'll hear the sounds. But here's the thing. What I don't understand is that that source is not on this scene at all, but it's still playing it. And I don't understand how that's happening, because you shouldn't have a source coming through on a scene that does not have it associated with it. So I don't know how or why that's happening. But at any rate, I could set up, gosh, I don't even know what all is available anymore. Like, I used to have little, like when you put an emote in chat, it would bounce around. I love that. I would actually like to have my bouncy emotes back. But that was a Twitch thing, I believe. But so there's a lot of things with Streamlabs that I think I could probably update, and doing the restream, I could send it out to potentially, well, 2, and I could send it out to potentially 5, because the next level up from the free level isn't too bad. It's like 19 a month, but if you do it on an annual, it's like 16. But I would definitely test it out before going on the other paid level. See if it even, you know, is worth it versus the other OBS plugins. Okay, I'm having a conflict here. So this is like either a massive, massive coconut in Momochi. Momochi seems okay, but this I think needs to be bigger, because this is like a huge, huge tree in comparison. I mean, as I was drawing it, it was a really small tree. All right, that feels better. That feels like it's more in line with reality here. Because I don't want her to be a Meowzilla unless she's a Meowzilla. Eat that. Oh. Client is happy. I think I want to redraw this. And now I'm thinking about the suit, and I kind of want to make the suit too, even though it is not remotely even cold enough. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Moving him up a little bit to split those guys. I think that feels good. Except I need to make this a little bit less weird. There we go. And I think I need to make this a little thinner too, because I'm drawing all these thick lines, and maybe that was a part of the problem. I thought this tree was a little off. This guy's gonna need to have big canopy energy. So he's like going off into nowhere over there. So let's just draw some leaves down here. Draw a little leaf. Some, maybe a couple little leaves. There we go. They're kind of chilling here and there. Saying, whoa, wait a minute. Definitely, whoa, wait a minute on that one. There we go. Alright, so these guys are meandering off of the canvas, so I don't need to draw all the way up there. There we go. And a little thinner, maybe, whoop. That was a little too abrupt. Let's scooch. Here we go. Okay, now you can go. I'm regretting that decision. I'm really regretting this decision. I'm just going to redraw this part of the tree. I am having a lot of issues. It looks weird. I'm just going to leave it alone. Or I could like do should I just like hide my mistake inside a pocket? Can we just cover it with leaves? I need to move on to the next tree and then actually draw my characters. So this guy, he's going to be leaning back. Not that far leaned back. But I do want him to have a double trunk. Nope, not that. Figure out how this is gonna look. Right now he's looking trashy. Maybe yeah, this is feeling like a crepe myrtle. That's what I want. We're gonna start over. I do know I want the canopy. Tree leaves to be there like that. I'm kind of feeling like I drew the sketch too small. Why don't I just step away from the need to have this be a double trunk, and let's just try and make it a tree first. Then we'll deal with details later. Obviously I'm having trouble. Nope, we're still going for the double trunk. Okay. That's what it has to be. That's what it has to be. I want to have those like knobby, spindly branches going out. I'm gonna save because I've fought with these trees a little bit and I don't want to lose that work because we know Illustrator is being a pill today. Speaking of pills, so is Shopify, because it apparently, last time I did inventory and I updated stuff, and apparently it only, I have a very clear memory of putting in the numbers, I will say that. So maybe, I know it's my fault somehow, but somehow some of the inventory update got accepted and saved and the other half did not, and that ended up in selling a shirt that was out of stock. So I have options, but I'm frustrated because I just clearly remember double checking, going through all those numbers and updating them, but what was in the system was like not even remotely correct. And but other items were. They were exactly what I had on my papers. And yeah, so that was very frustrating. I'm very particular about that. I really don't like making those mistakes. And so maybe when I was saving, I hit the button and thought it took it, but it didn't, or I don't know. But yeah, so that was what I was dealing with this morning. And I had to figure out what the heck was going on there. I like the idea of maybe some more, although this has to be, it can't just come from nowhere. It needs to actually, so that's where all of my branches are. So maybe I'll just put you kind of going off that direction. And I can draw down this way. It's like Bombchan got into the system or something. I wonder too, because I recently synced a lot of stuff up to Fair for wholesale. I'm wondering if that maybe did something, or I don't know if it helped or hindered, or if it's just inconsequential and it's just me trying to find a reason. But I don't know, it is very weird. Other than that hiccup, I have nothing but good things to say about Shopify. I mean, I wouldn't even suggest to anybody, using a different service like I have with, my old ones, Meet the Merchant and Zencart. Ugh, God. Those are Zencart's still around. I wouldn't suggest that to an enemy. Alright, so let's save again. And now I'll draw in my characters, and this frame will be done. Oh gosh, I've only gotten 2 frames done. Well, this one won't be too bad. It'll be pancake flip, and this one will be easy, so. I'll just finish drawing these guys, and I'll probably end the stream there and get some lunch. No. Let's group Miss Mo. I'll maybe bring her stripes and stuff down a little bit. Not quite sure on her face. Let me just redraw this. I'm gonna group this and move it. I like that. That seems like it's a little bit more Mo. Let's make this stripe a little bigger. And then I'll have her little scarf flowing out behind her. Maybe I can stand to make her a whoops. I forgot I moved her face up there. And let's save because we know Illustrator's game today is tricky. A little bit more room for coconut here. Little smallish whisker. And let's do her tail firmly behind her. Might have to redo some of that, make her a little smaller too. Over there. Right, and we're going to save. I actually could probably move Momo over a little bit like that so we don't have him blocked. And then I have one little floof that's going to be here. Oh. There's those frames done, and I just need to do the pancakes with Happy and GB, and then Pudge in the cafe. And this shouldn't take me too long. I can sketch him up pretty quick. This will be a little bit more because I've got to do a countertop setup, but I think I'll end the stream there. And if you want to see how this ends up, you can see the new comics on the website, or of course any of my socials. They go live on Fridays and Tuesdays, but I've been taking breaks on Tuesdays lately, and it's been very nice. I've got to get back into the schedule, but I may move it, maybe a Wednesday. Well, I don't know. I'm still thinking about what second day I want to come back to. If it'll be Tuesday still, or if it will be a different day. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Let me switch over to my ending screen. Looks great, I'm glad. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, that was really weird. I've never seen it crash that way before. But yeah, I'm glad that I hadn't lost a lot. I think I probably would have been most upset if I had lost my floof expressions with the hot cocoa. But yeah, that, came back together really easy and quick. So that's good. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Catherine, Sharon, Dee, and any of my lurkers. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.